to All Natural 247, and today we're going to talk about keeping it organic and what does it mean to be organic and have an organic lifestyle. So we're going to be talking about foods primarily. There's other ways of being organic, but primarily we're going to talk about foods today. So when I say keeping it organic, there are many ways to be organic. You can be totally organic, which means that, you wear organic clothes, you only use organic products, and you only eat organic foods. So we're going to touch on those things a little later with probably another video, but today we're going to talk about organic food. So let's get into the definition of organic foods. Okay, so an organic food is a food that is produced by using only natural methods. That means there's no chemical fertilizers or pesticides or things like that. Everything is natural. Some people even go to the extremes of not having even cars or anything that produces a carcinogen around the food product while it is growing. So to start off with eating organic foods, there are some rules that I want to start off with. These are not the only rules, but these are some rules that will help you with developing an organic food lifestyle. Now, nowadays everybody's talking about eating totally organic or not even caring about eating organic. And I'm going to explain to you why it is important to have an organic lifestyle and what is the difference between eating organic and not eating organic at all. So the major thing when you're starting off with an organic diet, you want to start off with not changing your whole diet unless you're a radical person, and hey, if that's what you want to do, that's great. I applaud you. But for some people it's very intimidating because it's a lifestyle change, and it can be expensive if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm going to go and point out some ways to start implementing, a partially organic diet. Now, if you start off with a partial organic diet, it's better than not having an organic diet at all. So some of the things that you want to have and want to start changing are foods such as strawberries, raspberries, anything that you cannot remove the skin from. So cucumbers, unless you're peeling the cucumbers, but it still has a thin skin, so I would still like to use an organic approach to a cucumber as opposed to something that you can peel like an orange or a banana and so on and so forth. Now when you have produce that like a banana or a watermelon or an orange, a grapefruit, it's not really necessary in the beginning to start off with those fruits and changing over to organic because the pesticides are on the surface and they say it doesn't penetrate, but I believe that it does because anything that is porous can penetrate through to the center of the food source. So but it's not going to be as toxic as taking in something that you don't peel, like a strawberry, where you're taking all of the herbicides, because you can't really wash all of that out, and it's concentrated on that skin, so it's going to be concentrated on the inside because the skin is so thin. Now we're going to go into detail why I think an organic diet is important, and that has something to do with a little bit of science dealing with DNA and how your body fixes the different flaws that naturally happen in your body. So we're going to talk about that. I want to be able to explain the body from a molecular standpoint. That way you can understand why I feel it is important for us to eat organic foods, totally natural foods. Okay, so we're going to start off with DNA, because DNA is the building block for all of the cells in the body. In order to know what the cells are supposed to do, the DNA pretty much tells you what your body's going to do, what it's going to look like, if it's going to get sick easily, and so on and so forth. Now I'm not going to go into great detail because I don't want to bore you all, and I'm trying to simplify everything. So the DNA basically what happens is the body, because it's doing so much at any given time, the DNA during the reciprocation and building more DNA, through mitosis, which is cell division, the DNA, when it is being duplicated, can sometimes have mutations in it. Now, the body proofreads this through a proofreading enzyme, and what happens is the body has a natural response to these different mutations by actually, when it proofreads it and it realizes that it has a mutation, it actually cuts it out, and there's another function which actually, takes it out and puts it into waste, and your body naturally gets rid of it. And sometimes it doesn't do that. And what we're trying to do through eating organic foods and being natural is creating a good environment for your body to perform naturally. Now, if you're introducing things like carcinogens, like such as smoking a cigarette, or being near, being in an environment where a lot of cars are concentrating with the fumes and the gases. When you're inhaling those different things and taking different things into your body that is not natural, it kind of makes the body have to work a little harder, and instead of concentrating on those naturally mutations that happen in your body and removing that, it has to think about removing the carcinogens that's being taken into your body. And there's no difference when you're taking in like herbicides and pesticides and things like that. The body recognizes that it is not a natural thing that is inside, so it's spending time on getting that removed and processing that information instead of the naturally occurring mutations. Now, in the body, you have the four basic building blocks, which is in DNA, it's A, G, T, and C, and that stands for adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. And those things, they match up together. So A matches up with T, G matches up with C, and sometimes they mismatch and don't go with their partners. Now, if you're smoking or taking in foods that are not organic and any other environmental things that you're not aware of that you're taking in, and we're going to talk about how to, purify your body and detoxify your body from being intoxicated and so on and so forth, but this is just for the sake of talking about organic foods. It's important to start off with something that you can take care of right now, which is eating a good healthy diet. And if you're already eating a good healthy diet, it's good to take the next step in eating organic foods, because then your body doesn't have to worry about the different herbicides, pesticides, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's why I think it's really important that you look at the DNA and understand why it's happening and why it's good to eat organic foods. That's my brief synopsis of that. So we talked about organic foods, fruits primarily, and we talked about the DNA and how inorganic foods can affect the body on a molecular level. So now that we have that down, and we talked about when you're starting out having a organic lifestyle and you're not trying to totally transition all the way right away and you're trying to ease your way into the lifestyle, it's better to start off with having organic berries and things that have thin skin as opposed to things that have thick skins like oranges and bananas and watermelon and so on and so forth. Now, there are other things that you can look for when you're eating healthy as well. When you're looking at natural foods, not necessarily organic foods, but you want to stay away from bleached foods like white flour and white sugar. They have the raw sugar now, it comes in a brown packet. They have stevia, and I try to stay away from those artificial sweeteners as well. So stevia is a very good alternative to the the non-sugar sweeteners like Sweet and Low, Equal, and Splenda, and the other ones. If it's not stevia, I would kind of shy away from it. Try it. It's a really good natural product. It comes from the plant, the stevia plant. It's all natural. You can even buy the herb at herb stores if you have that, and maybe I'll have a link in one of the videos coming up, or on my website that I'm developing. So I love eating organic foods. I am a vegetarian, although I do cook meat and prepare meat for my children or my family. And yeah, they like fruits and vegetables, and they do notice a difference in the taste between organic foods and non-organic foods, and they prefer the organic food. Okay, so we're talking about organic foods, but there's also things called GMO, which stands for genetically modified foods, and these are foods that have been altered to be able to stay on the shelf a little longer, to look a little better, to withstand like different little diseases that different fruits and vegetables may get. And pretty much, if a plant gets a disease, and that means it's not healthy anyway, so you want to know that it's not healthy. You don't want something masking it, saying that it's healthy and it's not. And if it's been genetically modified, that means that the structure, which we're talking about, the DNA structure for the cells, have been altered to do something other than what it was meant to do. Now, if it's doing that and you're taking it into your body, and I have explained to you how DNA works and what happens when something that is not natural comes into the body, what do you think is going to happen when you take this genetically modified food and enter that altered state into your body, and your body's functioning naturally and things like that? Now it has to go and register this food that has been altered. It's not going to take it in as easily as something that is organic or all the way natural. So you do want to look out for that, and I think it's really important to get a taste for organic and natural foods, so that when you do find something and something does taste off, if something tastes off, then something is wrong with that fruit or that vegetable. I remember not too many years ago, I kind of slacked off a little bit, and I just, picked up a head of lettuce. I wasn't really thinking. I was, tired. I was working hard, and it was a hard, long day, and I picked it up because I was going to make a salad for my kids, my family. And when I was cutting it up and I was eating it, and I was looking like, oh, I said, this romaine lettuce tastes like iceberg lettuce, and I don't really typically care for iceberg lettuce. And it kind of had the shape at the tip of iceberg lettuce, because romaine lettuce pretty much sticks out and it kind of flares out, but this was kind of like curved in, like it had that curved shape, like, romaine lettuce doesn't have a curved shape, iceberg lettuce does, and other lettuce. So I was like, something's not right about this. Well, lo and behold, it didn't have anything saying what it was, or if it was made, or how it was manufactured. But your taste buds never steer you wrong. So anytime I do go shopping, I do look at the food and see what it looks like, see if it smells like it, because if a strawberry is not smelling like a strawberry, then either it's altered or it's not ready to be eaten. If an orange doesn't have that orange smell, how you go by certain produce and you can smell the way it is, you can almost taste it, then it's good. But if something tastes off, you got to train your taste buds to what natural food is. We're turning to a society where we don't even know what the natural foods are. So I just want you all to be aware, and maybe we can have like a taste challenge. I can challenge you all to, get a package of strawberries or raspberries or bananas, and start realizing what you're eating and how it tastes, and what's, when you're chewing on it, is it hard, is it soft, is it palatable where you like it or you don't like it. And don't get so used to trying to mask those things or trying to make it taste like something by adding sugar or other things that enhance the taste of the fruit. Just eat it for what it is. So one time I was going grocery shopping because I was going to make a dinner salad for my family, and after I had finished making it, it looked so good. Everybody was like, oh, and ready to eat. So we ate the salad, and I was noticing as I ate it that it kind of tastes like iceberg. And I checked the package and it said romaine lettuce, and I was like, oh, this kind of tastes like iceberg. Doesn't it taste a little funny? I asked my husband, and he was like, tastes like salad. It tastes good to me. And I didn't ask the kids because they weren't really sure about it. They just was like, it had the salad dressing on there and the apples and the nuts and all the other bells and whistles on the salad that I normally put in there. And so as I was eating, I was like, okay, and I ate the salad. Then I went back to look at it. And first of all, I noticed that it wasn't organic. But I knew that wasn't what it was because it actually tastes like iceberg lettuce. And I'm like, okay, it's not organic, so, my bad. I didn't even look at it. I got too comfortable, which is fine. It's not a problem. But this is just an example of how, genetically modified foods can, make their way into our homes. So, yeah, I noticed when I looked at it that it wasn't organic. That was the first thing. Then the second thing I noticed is the shape of the romaine lettuce leaves, and usually romaine lettuce is like flared out and it's kind of rounded at the top, like it it's like a half circle, and it's like, well, anyway, and I noticed that this was kind of curved in like iceberg lettuce. And so I was like, that I wonder if this is like genetically modified. Now I don't have any proof, but it didn't taste like romaine lettuce. It had that iceberg lettuce taste to it. And who knows, it could have been genetically modified. It wasn't organic, so I'll have to assume that something's been altered, whether it was herbicides, pesticides, or genetically modified. They have those apples in the stores now. They're called grapples, or it's a grape and an apple mix so that the apple tastes like a grape. And I'm like, if I wanted an apple and a grape, I'll make a salad. Like, I want an apple to taste like an apple and a grape to taste like a grape. And so I just want you guys to be aware that there are genetically modified foods out there. It's not natural, and if it's not natural, and as I explained earlier with the DNA, your body has to work extra hard to correct or expel those foods that are not natural. So you're getting full off of something, but it's not nourishing the body. So just keep in mind of genetically modified foods. We're going to have some more, information on organic foods and an organic lifestyle. I want to thank you all for listening to me today, and I'll be speaking to you later. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and happy eating. Bye.